Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And so it goes that we read chapter 3, which really could be chapter 4. I'm not sure about the chapters, but they're in the ark and the world is flooded. And that's where we left off at. So, the flood subsides. But God remembered Noah and all the animals, all the livestock that were with him in the ark. And God caused a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. Also the fountains of the deep and the floodgates of the sky were closed, and the rain from the sky was restrained, and the water receded steadily from the earth, and at the end of 150 days the water decreased. Then, in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, the ark rested upon the mountains of Ararat, and the water decreased steadily until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, the tops of the mountains became visible. Then it came about at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and sent out a raven, and it flew here and there until the water was dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove to see if the water was low on the surface of the land. But the dove found no resting place for the sole of its foot. So it returned to him in the ark, for the water was on the surface of all the earth. Then he put out his hand and took it, and brought it into the ark himself. So he waited another 7 days longer, and again he sent out the dove from the ark. And the dove came to him in the evening, and behold, in its beak was a fresh olive leaf. So Noah knew that the water was low on the earth. Then he waited another 7 days longer, and sent out the dove, but it did not return to him again. Now it came about in the 601st year, in the 6th month, on the 1st of the month, that the water was all dried up from the earth. Then Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the surface of the ground had dried up. And in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. Then God spoke to Noah, saying, Go out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing of all flesh that is with you, birds, animals, and every crawling thing that crawls on the earth, that they may breed abundantly on the earth, and be fruitful and multiply on the earth. So Noah went out, and his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. Every animal, every crawling thing, every bird, everything that moves on the earth went out by their families from the ark. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord and took some of every kind of clean animal and some of every kind of clean bird and offered burnt offerings on the altar. The Lord smelled the soothing aroma, and the Lord said to himself, I will never again curse the ground on account of man, for the intent of man's heart is evil from his youth, and I will never again destroy every living thing as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Covenant of the Rainbow. Then God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear of you and the terror of you will be on every animal in the earth and on every bird of the sky, on everything that crawls on the ground, and of all the fish of the sea. They are handed over to you. Every moving thing that is alive shall be food for you. I have given everything to you as I gave the green plant, but you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is, its blood. I certainly will require your lifeblood from every animal. I require it, and from every person, from every man as his brother, I will require the life of a person. Whoever sheds human blood, by man his blood shall be shed. For in the image of God he made mankind. As for you, be fruitful and multiply, populate the earth abundantly, and multiply in it. Then God spoke to Noah and to his sons with him, saying, Now behold, I myself am establishing my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the livestock, and every animal of the earth with you. Of all that comes out of the ark, every animal of the earth, I establish my covenant with you, and all the flesh shall never again be eliminated by the waters of a flood, nor shall there again be a flood to destroy the earth. God said, This is a sign of my covenant, which I am making between me and you and every living creature that is with you, for all for future generations. I have set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall serve as a sign of a covenant between me and earth. It shall come about when I make a cloud appear over the earth, that the rainbow will be seen in the cloud, and I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and never again shall the water become a flood to destroy all flesh. When the rainbow is in the cloud, then I will look at it to remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth. And God said to Noah, this is a sign of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is on the earth. Now the sons of Noah who came out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham was the father of Canaan. These three were the sons of Noah, and from these the whole earth was populated. Then Noah began farming and planted a vineyard. He drank some of the wine and became drunk and uncovered himself inside his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it on both their shoulders and walked backward and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were turned away so they did not see their father's nakedness. When Noah awoke from his wine, he knew what the youngest son had done to him. So he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants. He shall be to his brothers. He also said, blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and may he live in tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. Noah lived 350 years after the flood. So all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Descendants of Noah. Now these are the records of the generations of the sons of Noah: Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and the sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Mashi, and Tyrus. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan were Ishlan, Tarnish, Kitman, and Dunham. From these the people of the coastlines of the nation were separated into their lands, every one according to his language, according to their families, to their nations. The sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Zebah, Havilah, Zebah, Raham, Zetikah, and the sons of Ramoth were Sheba, and Deacon. Now Cush fathered Nimrod. He became a mighty one on earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria and built Neban, Rebach, Shur, Callan, and Rezin between Neban and Callan, that is the great city. Mitzrayim fathered Ludim, Ardam, Leham, Naphtali, Paran, Casrim, and who came the Philistines, and Caphoran. Canaan fathered Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, the Jebusite, and Amalekite, and Geshet, the Hevite, and Archite, the Sinite, the Archidite, and the Zemarite. And the Hemite, and afterward the families of the Canaanite were spread abroad, and the territory of the Canaanite extended from Sidon going toward Gerar as far as Giza, and going toward Sodom and Gomorrah, Adam, and Zimlah, as far as Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, according to their families, according to their languages, by their lands and their nation. Also to Shem, the father of the children of Eber, and the older brother of Japheth, children were born. The sons of Shem were Elam, Asher, of Persia, Shad, Bud, and Aram. The sons of Aram were Uz, Hu, Gather, and Mash. Arpachshad fathered Shelah, and Shelah fathered Elbert. 2 sons were born to Elbert. The name of one was Peleg, for in these days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Jotan. Jotan fathered Almadad, Shepherd, Azamarleth, Jeriah, Horndam, Uziel, Jaka, Orbit, Abysmal, Shiva, Orn, Havanah, and Jebah. All of these were the sons of Jotan. Now their settlement extended from Masha, going toward Sephar, the hill country of the east. These were the sons of Shem, according to their families, according to their languages, by their lands, and according to their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, according to their descendants, by their nations, and out of these nations were separated on the earth after the flood. The Tower of Babel. Now all the earth used the same language and the same words, and it came about as they journeyed east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. Then they said to one another, "Come, let's make bricks and fire them thoroughly." And they used bricks for stone, and they used tar for mortar. And they said, "Come, let's build ourselves a city and a tower whose top will reach into the heaven. And let's make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered abroad over the face of all the earth." Now the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the man had built. And the Lord said, "Behold, they are one people, and they all have the same language. And this is what they started to do, and now nothing which they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let's go down and there confuse their language so that they will not understand one another's speech." So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of all the earth, and they stopped building the city. Therefore it was named Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of the earth. Descendants of Shem. These are the records of the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old when he fathered Shinad, 2 years after the flood, and Shinham lived 500 years after he fathered Arphaxad, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Arphaxad lived 35 years and fathered Shelam, and Arphaxad lived 430 years after he fathered Sheman, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Sheman lived 30 years and fathered Elbert, and Shelam lived 403 years after he fathered Elmer, Eber, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Eber lived 34 years and fathered Peleg, and Eber lived 430 years after he fathered Peleg, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Peleg lived 30 years and fathered Ra, and Peleg lived 209 years after he fathered Ra, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Ra lived 32 years and fathered Shirod, and Re lived 207 years after he fathered Shirod, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Shirod lived 30 years and fathered Norad, and Shirod lived 100 years after he fathered Norad and fathered other sons and daughters. Norad lived 29 years and fathered Terah and Norad, and lived 119 years after he fathered Terah, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Terah lived 70 years and fathered Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the records of the generations of Terah. Terah fathered Abram, Norad, and Haran, and Haran fathered Lot. Haran died during the lifetime of his father Terah in the land of his birth in Ur of the Chandruins. Abram and Norad took wives for themselves. The names of Abram's wife was Sarah, and the name of Nora's wife was Michal. unable to conceive, she did not have a child. Now Terah took his son Abram, and Lot the son of Haran, his grandson, and daughter-in-law Sarah, and his son Abram's wife, and they departed together from Ur in the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan, and they went as far as Haran and settled there. The days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country and from your relatives and from your father's house to the land which I will show you, and I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be blessing, and I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth will be blessed." So Abram went away as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. Now Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Abram took his wife Sarah and his nephew Lot and their possessions which they had accumulated and the people which they had acquired in Haran, and they set out for the land of Canaan. So they came to the land of Canaan. Abram passed through the land as far as the site of Shechem to the oak of Moreh. Now the Canaanites were in the land at that time, and the Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your descendants I give this land." So he built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. Then he proceeded from there to the mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent with Bethel on the west, and Ai on the east, and there he built an altar to the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord when Abram journeyed on, continuing toward Negev. Now there was a famine in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt to live there for a time. because the famine was severe in the land. It came about when he was approaching Egypt that he said to his wife, Sarah, "See now, I know that you are a beautiful woman, and when the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife,' and they will kill me, but they will let you live. Please say that you are my sister, so that it may go well for me because of you, and that I may live on account of you." Now it came about when Abram entered Egypt that the Egyptians saw the woman was very beautiful. Pharaoh's officials saw her and praised her to Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. Therefore he treated Abram well for her sake, and he gave him sheep, oxen, male donkeys, male servants and female servants, female donkeys and camels. But the Lord struck Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. Then Pharaoh called Abram and said, "What is this that you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say, 'She is my sister,' so that I took her for myself as a wife? Now then, here is your wife. Take her, go." And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they escorted him away with his wife and all that belonged to him. So Abram went up from Egypt to Negev, he and his wife and all that belonged to him, and Lot with him. Now Abram was very rich in livestock, silver, and gold, and he went on his journeys from the Negev as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, to the place of the altar which he had made there previously. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord. Now Lot, who had went with Abram, also had flocks, herds, and tents, and the land could not support both of them while living together, for their possessions were so great that they were not able to remain together. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. Now the Canaanites and the Prizzites were living in the land at that time. So Abram said to Lot, "Please let there be no strife between you and me, nor between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are relatives, as the entire land, not before you. Please separate from me. If you choose the left, then I will go to the right, or if you choose the right, I shall go to the left." Lot raised his eyes and saw all the vicinity of Jordan, that is, well watered everywhere. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt going toward Zoar. So Lot chose for himself all the vicinity of Jordan, and Lot journeyed eastward, so they separated from each other. Abram settled in the land of Canaan, while Lot settled in the cities of the vicinity of Jordan, and moved his tents as far as Sodom. Now the men of Sodom were exceedingly wicked sinners against the Lord. The Lord said to Abram, after Lot had separated from him, now raise your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward and southward, eastward and westward. For all the land which you see, I give to you, and to your descendants forever. I will make your descendants as plentiful as the dust of the earth, so that if anyone can count the dust of the earth, then your descendants could also be counted. Arise, walk about the land, though its length and width, for I will give it to you. Then Abram moved his tents and came and lived by the oaks of Mamre, which were in Hebron, and there he built an altar to the Lord. And there is where I stopped for the night. Blessed of the readings of the Lord. For I shall stop there and stop for the night. Well, good night, and I might see you a little later on. It just depends. We'll have to see. But I'm through with my Bible reading tonight. So in Jesus' name I pray.